Everybody back from break after an absolutely electric round 18. And if we're possibly going to have a chance at a more exciting game than that, hard to pick the current clubhouse leader, Rafi Stern, 14-4 in first place against the two-time defending champion, Jackson Smylie. This could be a banger, and I love watching both of these two players play, Matt.
Jackson plays beautiful Scrabble. Jackson is able to adjust to his opponent and his opponent's strengths and weaknesses so well. The problem with Jackson against a player like Rafi is Rafi has so few weaknesses, and that weakness will definitely not be on display here as he's drawn an instant bingo on the first turn. Big start.
Yeah, Rafi has to be thrilled to see that. It looks like he did lose his previous game. So whenever you have a tough loss at the top of the standings, drawing a nice, easy rack to start that next game definitely helps ease the nerves and quiet those feelings of, oh, God, is this where I'm going to hit my tough streak? Not yet, at least not in this game. Great start for Rafi. On the other hand, not so good for Jackson.
No, this is a nasty rack. EEFHKUV. He's got like nothing good to do at all. I think FAUVE through the A and Garrett is eventually what he's going to settle on here. You've got to get rid of the U and the V if you can. I don't think there's much else for him to think about on this move.
The crazy thing is, unbeknownst to Jackson, there is no way he can know this, but if he doesn't block that T of Garrote, he is going to get hit by a second bingo, which we see Rafi has found and is going to play instantly. Beautiful play, nanowatt into that T of Garrote. Wow, very impressive.
I said this a lot during SPC. It takes a lot of skill to win a Scrabble tournament. It also takes just a little bit of good luck and good timing. And man, what great timing. That's a rack that's otherwise a little bit inflexible, ANNOTW. But with the T in space, that's exactly what he needed. Great timing, great find, great start for Rafi. We'll see if Jackson's able to mount any kind of challenge here for him or if he's going to get steamrolled. HAKE is still 47. That's a huge score for Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even down by anything close to 190 points here. He still basically has Rafi right where he wants him. I mean, if last game is any indication, he might even be leading at this point. Oh my God, but Rafi has Quillet on his rack. So I don't think that's going to fit anywhere, but certainly the tiles are running nice and hot for Rafi to start this game. I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't help you that much to have, and there it is. He's lined it up. He sees it, hoping against hope for maybe I'll get a place to play it, but I'm not sure that there will be one, especially, Matt, after your suggested play of Hake.
Yeah, I don't see any reasonable plays for Jackson that would allow Quillet to go down, so we won't see the absolute runaway train Rafi Stern with a 3 bingo start. But Jackson, why is he spending so long here, I wonder? HAKE feels really obvious to me.
That's a good question. I agree. It does pretty much everything that Jackson wants with that particular rack, deploys the H and the K on a triple word score, undoubles his 2 A's, and, uses up that triple before Rafi can do so himself and widen his lead even further. So, yeah, I do like it, but I think it's a funny comment that Rafi playing like he has a plane to catch. Look at that, 2 turns into the game and barely 30 seconds off of his clock. I think what that actually is a sign of respect for Jackson Smylie. Rafi knows that if he has an obvious move in this game, like a bingo, he's going to want to play it now because the odds of this game somehow winding up into a close end game or pre-end game situation where you need every last second to calculate are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to figure out other ways to open this board. This is a board closing play, but it's not the worst. GARROTE has 3 backhooks, DRS. You've got nanowatts, you've got foves. You can still bingo down to the first R in Garrett with any ER bingo. Like, this doesn't feel great, but it's not as terrible to the board as it feels for Jackson. And 47 points is 47 points. Curious. I guess he took the time to try to find any clever setups, but there was nothing there for him.
Yeah, that's probably it. He probably, as you suggest, Matt, not thrilled with blocking the open lanes in Nanowatt, but he has to do so. And honestly, he's definitely, after that play, he's down by a bingo ish, but there's so much left to come in this game. Keep in mind that the garrote hooks are just still wide open. It's definitely very, very possible to imagine a hook to that word going down, both blanks are still available. So there's plenty going on from Jackson's POV. He actually has a Collins only bingo of Wayatas on his rack right now. It's not going to do him any good. Turns his rack from a potential bingo into, in this lexicon, a challenge to navigate on his next turn.
Shows some of the difference between the games and the lexica that you get to play. Man, that's got to be frustrating if you play any Collins and you see this on your rack and it goes from a sad turn to a bingo. But Jackson doesn't really dabble in Collins. That won't come up. I think we're going to see Jackson play Await and AE here. Jackson's got to try to get to the bottom side of this board. I think a lot of players just drop AWA, and from a sheer equity perspective, AWA is great. But in this perspective, it's not at all. You've got to put more tiles out in space. AWA only has a Y as a back hook. AWA lets Rafi stack on the left side very easily for a lot of points to close back the board. So I think Jackson has to put the IT out there in space. Rafi won't be able to knock out the Garrett back hooks, and because he'll have to address the triple, and that'll keep Jackson alive at least one more turn. And he can adjust based on how he draws. Await is a really good idea here from Jackson.
Yeah, I think it, for all the reasons you just laid out, makes a lot of sense. Jackson, I do feel like, well, both of these players really, but certainly Jackson is very, very good at alternating his style from aggression to defense as the game situation requires. This is a situation where he needs to be aggressive and think about as offensive of a series of moves as he can. Opening a triple lane qualifies as that, not only because he might get to use it, but it also could distract Rafi just long enough to get a bingo down with garrotes, as you mentioned, Matt. So all reasons that he might do that. Could he be considering playing weights and fauves for 16 extra points, though, Matt?
That's a silly play to me. I think you need to try to keep as much open as possible for as long as possible. He's going to play it. So right as I say this play looks silly, the two-time Word Comp champion is going to put me on blast. I don't know. I would have played Await there.
This is why I rarely try to make an absolutely definitive proclamation, because I think the plays are close. I totally agree with you, Matt. I would have played Await there, but maybe Jackson is feeling a little bit more patience for whatever reason, that maybe he's thinking, well, there you go. There's another S finding its way onto his rack. But maybe he's thinking something like, there are enough hooks to this word that I don't necessarily have to keep an S. I can easily redraw some stuff there. Between the D, R, and S, maybe he feels like keeping the S isn't quite as important. I'll get my 16 extra points. That's just me speculating. I agree. I think we both agree that just Await there, saving that super valuable S that really does spike up your bingo percentage, seems a little more called for, but far be it from us to quibble too much with the guy that's won this event 2 years running, going for a third.
Definitely an interesting position there, but one where I feel like many players would play Await. One where I feel like many players would play Awa, and Awa, Await, and Wait are all plays that make sense. Waits and Await are both good. Awa was the terrible trap that you can't fall into there.
Oh my God, Matt. Oh my God, Matt. Matt, if Rafi falls into the trap and plays Jivey here, which looks very, very plausible, Jackson's going to triple with area ways.
What on earth are we doing? It's because I showed up that we're getting these nutso games. He
So
has to play
Rafi,
Tiny too.
oh my God, he has to, right? I mean, Veely is theoretically an option here through this A, which cuts everything off. Jackson has to be. I can't even believe how this is unfolding. Rafi's face. I feel like we just saw Rafi's face. Look at his facial expression. Oh, oh, oh
Oh
my
my god, he's taking it in
God.
stride, but oh my goodness.
So I just can't even believe what we are seeing in these games, Matt. I mean, it's really the peak of, in my opinion, armchair quarterbacking for us to say that Rafi should have played Veely here after Jackson opened up the triple with a 5 tile play. I don't think Rafi has any reason to suspect the danger of leaving a W in the triple lane open, but maybe playing Veely is warranted with a lead. It scores 4 more points, eliminates any of those crazy possibilities. I don't know, man. I think I'm playing Jivey there and, tipping my cap if he manages to get something like that.
Yeah, when I put a W in the fifth spot of a triple triple holding AA, my triple percentage is about 95%, right? That's what's supposed to happen in that sequence. You're supposed to draw area ways for 176. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. 176 for that play. Absolutely insane. So now the only thing better would be for Rafi to manage to come back and still win this game. In fact, he's going to possibly be able to play his Z in any number of places for 30-ish points. He could play his Z here. It looks like he's considering Auzel here for 28, and he's only going to be down. He's down 70. I guess he should be thankful for his red hot start to this game with Garrot and then Nanowatt. Without that, he would be absolutely doomed after that massive play by Jackson. But Rafi's still definitely very much alive to continue his comeback. Note too, neither blank is on the board after all these fireworks in the early going. We could be in for an absolute shootout here.
What on earth is going on? Like, is this real life? Why are we getting these incredible games of Scrabble on stream?
I have no idea, but I'm very thankful. So over to Jackson. What's he going to do here? I don't think he's got a bingo. Gives us a chance to catch our breath, but what could he actually do here, Matt?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun turn for us to learn from. Again, these turns where every play is between 16 and 26 are where the nuance in Scrabble lies. Jackson is the king of these nuances. He's got to be relieved to be approaching this turn with a sense of I'm trying to play defense instead of trying to desperately catch up after the big swing. But Rafi's pulled, as you circled there, for men. Still another natural, no blanks, no S's. That's fine. We're gonna have 1,000 combined points 2 games in a row.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's tough. How would Jackson find a way to block ferment here? I just can't imagine how he's going to do it. I don't really see maybe EH here. Is that something he would consider? Leaving II just seems like there's no way that I would want to do that, especially from Jackson's perspective with 5 eyes coming. No way I'm going to want to do that. It looks like he's considering what looks to my eye to be a really good play, Neolith through this L, turning tiles as fast as possible to try to get one of those 2 blanks that are still lurking. Leave just 1 eye on your rack for next turn instead of 2. Seems like a reasonable option for him, and Rafi is going to hammer down Ferment as fast as he played Garrot and Nanowatt, if that's the case.
Yeah, if Jackson magically blocks this, I'd be absolutely shocked. It just makes no sense to play over there. Jackson has one option I like quite a bit. That's Kanite, Kainite, just extending the Ka. That plays off 2 of the eyes and helps you dodge a bunch in the bag. But I think the big thing Jackson needs to be thinking about is how do I play a bunch of tiles right now? I've got to go digging for S's and blanks right now. How do I play off a lot of tiles without opening up too much for Rafi? I think both Eolith and Neolith do a good job of that, but I think Canik might do it slightly better. He's got to decide how important it is to play off the eyes in this situation.
Yeah, I like that idea of K-Knight. Two S's already on the board, so creating the K-Knight hook isn't quite as dangerous as it might normally be. Neolith is what hits the board. No real quibble on that from me. And now Ferment going down for Rafi. And when the dust settles, it'll be Rafi with a narrow lead. But there you go, Matt. One of those blanks finding its way onto Jackson's rack now.
Wow, what a draw into his IGEINR blank. That's incredible. He's going to bingo for sure now.
Yeah, no question. He's going to be bingoing here. But now a lot rides on Rafi's draw. Could he draw something nice out of the bag? He almost needs it in order to keep pace at this rate. SL, a great start, but what's he going to get here? All right, whoa. Not bad, not bad. I feel like those tiles could easily lead to a good two-turn sequence, Matt, playing the X for a good score and then following up with those nice bingo tiles.
Yeah, man, this is anybody's game still. Jackson will bingo this turn, but Rafi has a lot of points on the horizon for him. Jackson will probably cash in on one of the back hooks with Garrett on this turn. As we mentioned earlier, Garrett has 3 back hooks, D, R, and S. So something like REINING or REIVING play there. He can also play Dingier if he's not 100% sure on the Garroted hook, just DINGIER. But I think you play with the Garroted hook here. I'd be worried about Rafi potentially hitting me back with an SH bingo next to Neolith or a WH, some kind of big play in that spot, CH maybe. So I'd be looking to knock out the Garroted hook or Garroter hook. What do you think here, Will?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Almost by default, just based on where else are you going to be looking for even more points on offer? I guess you could try finding a play here, but there really isn't anything that, just thanks to the tiles that you have, you only have one hook to H on this side of the H on your rack in the form of the E. So it's actually kind of tough to get a bingo down there where you might get some extra points for the H. I guess you could look for the O, but that's an awkward fit. So Jackson is going to really hone in quickly. This is going to be an interesting blank designation, though, Matt. There is some, variations at play depending on whether this is an N or a V. It looks like it is a V. Now a word knowledge check has come into play.
This is the kind of stuff Jackson loves to do, is put you to the test. He knows the answers to these situations, and he is going to make you make the decision because he knows the correct decision to make. Jackson loves to do stuff like this to me, which absolutely obliterates me over the board. Now he's going to put it on Rafi to decide if this takes an S or not. Very interesting decision.
Yeah, we can see from the part of the alphabet he circled that this is actually a V and that this word does take an S. And oh my gosh, Jackson with the other blank draw, absolutely huge draw for him here. Not 100% sure what he has with this right now, but you always are happy to see that second blank. But for Rafi, he has an S. What's curious to me is, does he know how valuable it really is with this gigantic S hook available, or would he consider playing things like doxes, things like that here normally look quite strong, scoring so well, but really something like Dex is practically much stronger, keeping a good bingo lead with an S in it that's going to come back and hammer that spot on this next turn very often.
Such an interesting turn, such an interesting decision there from Jackson. Rafi put to the test. Does he know the hook? Even if he does, I don't think it's correct to cash the hook on this turn, but does he play the S? The play of Doxes, DOXES, to the right side of Neolith is 56. And that basically ties up the game. So it's hard to pass on a score that large but you need to pass on a score that large if you know that Reaving takes the S. There's also a lot of interesting psychology after Jackson plays that. You could have made that blank an N. You chose to make it a V. So I guess they both
Yeah.
must not take an S, right? Why else would you choose that option, Jackson? So fun psychology for Rafi as well.
Well, he might be thinking one reason to make it a V is if I have the X, it makes it impossible to overlap it down. If it's an N, I'm playing XI or XU in that spot. So it could just be X defense. But I would, if I'm playing Jackson, I'm going to be combing through every little detail of every move for things just like that. I just think in Rafi's situation, he might just read it as I don't want to get hit by a big X play in that spot if I'm Jackson. So yeah, curious though. Man, I can't wait to see what decision Rafi makes here. It's going to have such a huge impact on how the rest of the game unfolds. But I guess I'm curious. I haven't seen yet what Jackson's going to do with this blank. I haven't really spent enough time trying to figure out what Rafi is going to do. I don't think Jackson has a bingo. Am I correct about that?
He doesn't have one on this board right now, no.
Wow. So that's tough. I mean, he has a bunch of nice letters to look through. The I is okay, but the N looks really promising along with the G. Maybe you can get some stuff. There are some words like bludgeon and the let the chat enjoy bunghole doesn't actually quite fit, but that would be through this N. Doesn't quite make it onto the board. So yeah, it would be nice to shift that one over, but yeah, tough. So Jackson could easily take a couple minutes on that next move. I know I would, looking a little bit.
If I drew Jackson's rack on the stream, I would just melt into a puddle because I know I'm missing a bingo and I just don't know what it is. But there are no bingos. We have the anagrammers. These decisions are so much easier from up in the commentary booth.
Isn't it so
Rafi's decision is
relaxing?
so hard.
It's so relaxing compared to, I mean, we've both been in these situations before, and man, it's so tense. It's so nerve wracking. I'm just enjoying sitting here with my hot honey water tea, hot honey tea, and enjoying this incredible Scrabble that we get to watch.
I love the game of Scrabble, and I love seeing it played at a high level. It is a lot easier watching other people play it at a high level than doing it myself. The mental game is so hard to stay on track of. And the situations like this where I know I'm doing it wrong, it's so much easier to be up here. I really like the booth. I don't think I'll go back anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I see the merits of both. Every time I commentate, I do get a little bit of like FOMO to get back out there and play. So finding that mix is really what I like. I like doing a bit of both, but man, these games have been so epic to commentate that maybe I'm changing my tune a little bit. All right, Rafi looks like he's getting ready to play, and that's absolutely what we want to see from him. Wow, this could be a huge swing depending on what he draws here. Amazing, Matt.
Huge draw for Rafi. But like even II is going to go great for him. That'll give him ISO line and elision and all that stuff. Huge draw for Rafi. What's he going to find? He needs a bingo.
This is a big one. There are so many good bingo tiles too, Matt. Look at the pool. Oh,
wow.
All
right.
That's good, but it's also crazy because depending on where he plays it, it's going to lead to absolute madness. Look at how it fits on the board. It creates this gargantuan hook. We can't possibly get more drama than this, can we?
This is so good. Yeah, of course you draw the bingo and then it sets up another enormous spot. This is the bingo I wanted Rafi to draw. This is the content that you're all tuning in for as well. I love it. I wonder what Jackson is going to do here. I mean, he's got to decide if he wants to open this board again, even though he's ahead because he's got the good stuff. And I think no. You can expect Rafi to try to make some board opening plays or at least not close the board. You can be patient in bingo next turn. I like this from Jackson. ELU blank might go awry with this unseen pool if he pulls some eyes, but I think it still synergizes pretty well. I like this decision a lot from Jackson.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now, though, this puts Rafi to the test. in a big way. There's a couple things going on here, right? Just because Rafi played Dex, it doesn't mean he's 1,000% sure of this S hook anyway. He might not be that sure and just wanted to keep the S because it's a great bingo tile. So even if he's 1,000,000,000% sure of this word, Anisole here is really scary to play from Rafi's perspective. Let me make sure that the tracking is correct. It's not. We got to get it. The updated score for Jackson and the tracking from Rafi's perspective. So there it is. 1S, 1 blank, unseen to Rafi. That is a huge risk of setting up a hook that big, even if you're super sure of ravings. So, Matt, I don't know. Sola 9 through this N, is that a form of risk that's worth taking?
Oh my God, this is so hard. Unfortunately, Rafi has 12 minutes to think about the rest of his game. Like this one's likely to come to an end game, but Sola 9 feels pretty good here too. There are no major tiles that can crush you through the O down to the triple word that Sola 9 would expose just to be a C or an M. I can survive weak plays there, but it is a big sacrifice. Anisole and Ravings is 82. Sola 9 just 70. I think you roll the dice and you take the points. Rafi playing with fire, and he is about to get burned.
In a big way. I mean, I appreciate this point of view is that he's down by enough points that even a 70-point bingo isn't going to put him in that firm shape. I think this is actually great recognition of the precariousness of his real winning chances here. I think he realizes he probably needs to go for it and make a move that maybe he draws S blank out of the bag. And now Jackson is shaking his head. I'm not sure why. He must be thrilled to see that he could play boucles. There it is. Boucles, however you would say this word. He's got it lined up. And he is going to absolutely hammer this in response for 110. Another insane back and forth game here, Matt, between two truly amazing players.
I still don't have words. Like, my job is so easy when I just sit here and say, wow, are you kidding? Wow, are you kidding? But that's all we have to do to provide the drama. Scrabble writes itself sometimes. This is nutso. The swings Jackson has had, Rafi leaving weights, the W in weights alone, Jackson tripling. Rafi rolling the dice here, Jackson about to bingo for 110 points. Just Rafi getting punished as hard as possible every time he can. But Rafi also getting so lucky in this game, opening with 2 natural bingos in like 30 seconds. This is just so fun. And this is why we play Scrabble, for the heartbreak and the triumph of moments like this.
Yeah, it's tough. So Rafi, who was in absolutely commanding position throughout this tournament, he is still a game up from everybody else, including Jackson. But with this play and with Rafi's poor draw, admittedly, this move is going to empty the bag. And you can see Rafi basically saying, how could this game have transpired this way? But now the bag is empty. Rafi doesn't have a bingo. He's going to drop this game. And for the first time in many, many rounds, 2-time defending champion Jackson Smylie is going to overtake him in the standings. It's a big gut check moment for Rafi Stern in the tournament.
Boy, Nigel Peltier had his "this is where my tournament ran away from me" game last round. And Rafi is having exactly that same game this round. I know he's had kind of a rough up and down day, but it's going to be this one specifically, going back and looking at freaking area ways. Are you kidding me? And then you have 110-point bingo with Anisoles. It's just an absolute killer of a loss. But Rafi is still going to be in great shape in this tournament. I don't know. I don't know how you recover from this, though, psychologically.
It's tough. It's very cliche, but it's just one game. That's why we play 31, and he's still going to be right there, more than controlling his own destiny at 14-5. Yes, Jackson will nip him on the spread tiebreaker, especially after this game. but he's right there. He's going to get plenty more opportunities to go up against Jackson if the two of them continue to win games at this clip. So yeah, it's tough. There's no question about it. This is a tough loss. I don't even look at Jivey as a play that you should, rake him over the coals for. How are you going to get that angry at him, leaving a W in fifth position open after a 5-tile play, spending NS here? But yeah, I mean, I hope he doesn't feel that bad about this. In fact, it's difficult, Matt, to point to a major misstep that either player made in this game.
I don't think they did anything wrong, but that's the thing about Scrabble is sometimes you lose and you walk away thinking, man, I don't know if I could have done anything differently, or I know I could have done something differently, but it was probably wrong. You just have to hold your head up high, be proud of the way you played in this one, stick to your guns, make the same kind of decisions you usually make. You can't adjust your play assuming that your opponents are going to keep getting lucky like Jackson did at the end of this one.
Yeah, unbelievable. It looks like Rafi is setting up, not sure, PRMI. Normally, I would think he's going for Primi. Maybe he's thinking about playing that through right here, through this eye. Either way, both players with a ton of time to think about this end game if they so choose. It's also tempting, Matt, in situations like this to kind of pack it in, not worry too much about grinding your way to the absolute optimal end game. And maybe Rafi should just conserve some mental energy after this tough game.
Yeah, I'd already be in the hallway taking my 10-minute break after this one. I'd be pacing around trying to get some sunshine, just do a big hard factory reset after this. But Rafi trying to milk every point to spread. He's doing the mature, responsible thing that I would not be able to do here.
So oddly, for whatever reason, I guess I should ask the engine and try to confirm. It looks like Primi in this spot that Rafi originally was considering, at least I'm seeing that as his optimal endgame, leaving him with the very flexible dip, which should have no problem going out in, I'm assuming, a couple different places. On this board, this one stands out as a pretty easy one. Maybe there's another, but drip right here. Yep. So a couple different spots that look pretty good. Maybe he's going to play dip first, but yeah, it looks like he's figured out the right sequence. So kudos to him for that. Yeah, both of these players, very good end game players when they are inspired to be, which is almost all of the time. So no surprise to see them nail it.
Yeah, these are players that are so good. Sometimes I watch this and I'm like, man, these guys are so good that I shouldn't even go back to tournament play because they're just going to wipe the floor with me. I want to emphasize to all of our more casual viewers that we are showing the very top of the very top division at one of the biggest tournaments of the year. These are guys who've been playing Scrabble for 15 or 20 years at the tournament level who have built up a lot of experience to get to this point. You will probably not have to play these guys for the first several years. There are multiple divisions, beginner, intermediate, advanced divisions. Many people play happily in the beginner division for their entire tournament career, and that's A-okay. There's no obligation to study the words and nail these plays, but it really does make the game beautiful when people play at this high level as well.
Yeah, and to that point, there it is. That is the mathematically optimal first move of the end game for Rafi. That's going to give Jackson an opportunity to find his best move, which looks like the very snazzy Disky right here with nanowatts, DISCI, I guess the plural of discus. Again, so accurate, both players. But yeah, both could be forgiven after the thrill ride of this game for cutting some corners. But something tells me we're not going to see that. Yeah, some discussion about what position of Anisol, Matt. I said it at the time. I actually really like Rafi's choice to play it there. I think his position is much more tenuous than maybe it seems at first glance when you're going, getting a bingo down there. He was already down 50-ish, and Solanine scoring only 70. I don't think his winning chances were that great playing it safe there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Solanine still loses almost any time that Jackson has S blank in a big play on his rack. So I need every point I can get, and I just need to hope Jackson doesn't already have the goodies. I think Anasol does a great job of that. It squeaks out more of those intermediate games where Jackson doesn't have good letters. I think it was a reasonable decision. Jackson's missing his best in game here, but that's tough. I don't think it matters that much.
So yeah, I think we lost our feed temporarily. I don't know if. Oh, I think maybe we should be all resetting in just a second. Hold on.
Hey, just doing a little reset here. So Jackson's played CODs instead of the disc guy, which is a really nice find. And Rafi playing dip out. Let's hit the overhead mic here as quick as we can and hear this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Remember that after I played Devices on you?
Yeah, it was like, this is the same idea.
Yeah. And I had the Z and the J, but like, I didn't have a good player right there.
Yeah.
Like this.
You were driving you should
I could have played Zany, but it would have left the V.
Yeah,
And also the J.
You're not up by that much. And that, you're up by 70 on an open board. You can't start just like.
And like, the W's not a triple threat.
Yeah,
normally.
I kept
Especially when you have
A,
three A's.
Dude, the last tile turn was the A, and at first I was like, fuck. But then, like, wait. I was actually, like, having a heart attack.
I thought that you were going to troll me by pretending to lay down your last tile. You're 100% playing area weight if you want it.
Yeah.
It's not like a threat.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I was trolling, but then I that's painful. Dude, fucking, as soon as I play, God, my God, as soon as you play that, I do that all the time where I play a word thinking it doesn't take a hook, and then I remember that it does. It is a word.
Yeah.
Reaving's revising, obviously.
No, Reaving's is not good with IE.
Oh, it's
Reaving isn't even good with IE. It's only Reaving.
Oh, so okay.
If you would play RIE the ING, challenge.
That's only Reaving. Okay, I wasn't gonna play that. You're right. Just Reaving's revising. As soon as you play them, like, fuck, it is a word, isn't it?
And that was also painful because, like, I had to play here or here.
No, exactly. I mean, I was gonna have to be Cloud.
Yeah, it's so much better to play here because you don't have the S blank sometimes.
Yeah.
Or you might have to burn the blank.
Yeah.
And you play here, there's less, and you're going to match that spot with, like, any rack.
The only thing that's good with this is that, like, you put bingo here still. You have, like, two separate bingo threads.
Yes. But I'm going ahead, so if I draw the S and the blank or both, and you don't have one of them, like,
Yeah, it's true.
pretty much.
I could still kill you
It's
there.
not game over, it's close.
So I should have played Dingier. Like, I don't know why I thought it didn't take an S and whatever. It was dumb, but good recognition.
I was so excited because I was bingo, and then I was like, oh god.
Now you have to decide where to play.
I thought for a second that it was going to be one for the back.
Yeah.
And then I was going to slap it down. But that was
Crazy game.
I bet you the stream probably loved it.
Yeah.
Just how back and forth it was.
God damn.
Oh my god. Go.
Yeah.
I have thought.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. It's like it could have turned into just a massive blowout too. The way it started, if I could draw a blank right away.
Yeah, after Quilter, I was like, fuck me.
I had Quillet on my rack.
Oh, really?
It didn't play.
Shit.
Yeah. Must have like I was 9 through AN or 8. I didn't know.
No, it's crazy. So what you have with Jazzy? ZN.
Z
and
L.
Okay.
So like
So yeah, it's really yeah. I think you're right. You just destroy. If I don't triple trill immediately, you just crush me with EL and Z.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's the right play. But
Yeah.
got mashed in the face. And then like I drop from that right away. It's like, oh, I'm even, and there's 2 blanks, and I can hit one.
Yeah.
And
sorry, I drew out for Reaving as well.
This was a little bit interesting. I had like slightly over 50% chance to drop bingo if I just play off the X.
Oh yeah.
But like, yeah, I
What'd
love LONES. So, but I'm probably like 40% or so to bingo if I play Dex. So,
did you consider mix? Because there's only like 1 E left or something, maybe 2.
Yeah, there's still.
The thing is, I block here a lot, so it doesn't.
Yeah, and also I would look at duels, and there's 3 more keys left. So if I did drop back to Injury, I had not. Also, that was the issue. I played just the Axe. It's going to be a little bit suspicious, and you're going to be probably a little bit more likely to do some sort of block.
I hope I would have remembered at some point to take an S because I played this on the assumption you didn't take an S. So you may have caught me with my pants down at some point. That could have happened.
I thought I didn't look to see if you had any data there. I was like, oh, maybe it didn't really matter.
I wonder, maybe you could read into the fact that I thought it didn't take. There's no way if I think it takes an S, like such a bad play.
If I looked to see Ginger, I would have definitely thought that maybe it didn't take an S. But I mean, it didn't really change that much.
No, yeah, you gotta keep it open.
It definitely crossed my mind, and I might advise you with it.
Yeah.
Part of what I was thinking when I was debating like just X was that you might be more likely to block that than that if you're not sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we might be, we're winding down our post-mortem discussion of that game, Matt. Not sure if there were any gems we want to dive into. I feel like there were a couple that both players let slip there.
It was Jackson dodging bullets, as I think he thought RIEVING was also good. It seems like Jackson also didn't realize that word took a back S, but when Anisols gave back Jackson's bingo, he just let it go anyway. So Jackson, perhaps not the galaxy brain we thought, but stumbling into some incredible fortune at the end of that one, wins a thriller 538 to 483.
Yeah. I cannot imagine that this is going to continue. At some point, there's going to be a game that is a little bit more lopsided or less dramatic. I hate to say that. I want to promise you guys that every game is going to be like this from here on out on this stream. I wish I could say that. Maybe I'll just pretend. Maybe, Matt, we should just be claiming that every game will be this good.
Yeah, there will be another game that's not exciting. That game will be tomorrow morning because I'm not in the booth tomorrow morning, I think. Maybe I am. I don't even know. But no, we're getting two more instant classics here. This has been peak content. This has been a Will Anderson video after Will Anderson video. I know we'll be getting stuff from what we've just seen.
Well, if ever we're going to get a stellar follow-up game in round 20, we've got two more to come, and our matchup for the next round is two players that you will be familiar with. If you've watched the last two games, it's going to be Rafi coming back on stream against Laurie Cohen, who just completed one of the craziest comebacks that I've seen in a long time. And Matt, I'm sure I speak for you as well when I say that.
I am stoked. Yeah, still plenty more Scrabble to come. Two more games today, but the next one, Rafi and Lori, is going to be an awesome one.
So, quick break, and we'll be back with round 20 from the 2024 Word Cup in Albuquerque, New Mexico.